Hello everyone, welcome to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. After my first video, I decided to give this another try. So we'll see how it goes. Today, we are taking an Alaska Airlines flight from San Francisco to Los Angeles. This is a common flight simulation route, I believe. Hopefully, it will go okay. Without further ado, let's get into the cockpit and get this bird prepared for our departure. Alright, we are at a cold and dark state, so we will get the aircraft started. Let's go to the overhead panel and turn on our batteries as the first thing. I know this is a bug, it's showing the external power available, but it is not available. There is no external power truck outside, so we are going to ask for it from the ATC as the first thing. So let's tune to the ground services, and I'll ask for the power supply.
San Francisco ground, SkyWest 1071, could you please send a ground power unit? SkyWest 1071, a ground power unit is on the road.
Alright, we have our power truck coming around. Let's take a look at it. It should be around here shortly, hopefully. I don't know where it is going to come from. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's backing up. Now we will see the cable attaching to the aircraft, which will tell us that we have ground power. There we go. Okay, now let's turn on the ground power. Okay, so now let's turn on the nav lights to state that aircraft is powered on. So next thing, we have to take a look at the MCDU. Go to initialization page. Looks like we are good there. Our cost index for this flight, according to SimBrief, is going to be 46. Let's plug it in there. We are flying at a cruise level of flight level 370, 37,000 feet. Okay, so zero fuel weight and center of gravity. I just looked at this screen when I was loading the aircraft before loading into the simulator, and our center of gravity for today is going to be 28.2. Let's plug that in there. Block fuel shows 5.7. If we take a look at the fuel on board, that's about right, so we are good there. Okay, so anything else we need to do here? I think we are good now. So let's go back and let's get our passengers. So we will ask for the baggage.
San Francisco ground, SkyWest 1071, could you please send the baggage?
And we have to feed our passengers, so we are going to ask for the catering service.
San Francisco ground, SkyWest 1071, could you please send the catering truck? SkyWest 1071, the catering truck is on the road.
Okay, so I would normally ask for the fuel supply, but it takes a lot of time, so I'm going to leave it as is for this flight. Let's jump outside to the drone camera, and I hooked up an Xbox controller to control it better. Oops, not like that though. Okay, I'm still getting used to the controls, but now I can have a better control of the drone. As you see, our luggages are coming around and the catering truck is getting close to the rear door to load the food. Let's watch this for a second and we will take it from there. What I don't like about this baggage loading animation is there is no one over there lifting the luggages and putting them on the conveyor belt. I wish, or I hope, in a future update they will correct this. Okay, looks like we are getting the baggage loading, oh yeah, the baggage started to get into the aircraft, and we have catering truck supplying food to feed our passengers. Let's go back into the cabin. So at this point, we can start boarding our passengers. So let's request the jetway connection.
San Francisco ground SkyWest
And let's
1071.
take a
Could
look
you
at the
please connect
jetway
the jetway to the
as it
aircraft?
gets connected to the aircraft.
SkyWest 1071, the jetway is going to
Okay,
be
it's coming along. Now we will see the door opening, and then the jetway will connect. There we go. Finally, we can start boarding our passengers. Okay, let's just clean up the master caution. It's warning because we have the door open. And let's get couple things sorted out while the baggages are loading and the passengers are boarding. Let's go back to the clearance and request our clearance from the ATC.
San Francisco ground SkyWest 1071, ready to copy IFR clearance to Los Angeles. SkyWest 1071 is cleared to Los Angeles Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 1 right climb and maintain 7,000 feet.
Okay.
Departure frequency is 120.9ers, squawk tree 716.
7,000 is our initial climb altitude, and we have to set the squawk code into the transponder, which is 3716. 3716. That's good. Let's turn on the transponder to auto mode. I believe it was Control 6 to get here close. Yes, it is. And then we will leave it as is. Okay, so it says we are already on ground frequency 121.8, but we can also use this and 121.8 and keep it there as a standby. When I plug this in, it will automatically switch to ground and bring us the request taxi to the IFR. So we'll leave it like that for now. And let's just do another thing here. Let's go back. Do we have ADIS? Let's go back to clearance. I do not see the ADIS frequency, so let's just change it again. Let's turn the ground. Okay. Can we get ADIS here? Huh. Alright. I need to look up the QNH for San Francisco because I don't know it. But let me just check the flight plan that I created through SimBrief. It should have the weather information. And I can see the QNH there. So just give me a second, guys. I'll be back. Alright. Getting there. Weather information. I am looking for it. Okay, I found it. The altimeter is 29.82 at San Francisco. Let's just plug it in. Okay, our initial altitude is set. We can change this range to 20, like that. And I think we are pretty much set up for departure. I will turn on the weather radar to see if there will be anything on the way. Now let's just go back to the ground services and let's check outside to see if the catering truck and baggage is done. They are done for now. Yep. And I believe all the doors are closed. Yes, they are. So let's go back into the cockpit and let's turn on the fuel pumps now. And at this point we are going to fire up the APU and disconnect the external power. So we will turn the beacon on to let everybody around the aircraft know that we are going to turn on the APU or something that runs on fuel so that they stay clear from the aircraft. Okay, While the APU is starting, we can go outside actually and maybe just try to listen to the APU. Yep, you can clearly hear it's firing up. The APU is spooling right now. As soon as it starts, we should see available on the APU button. That's when we are going to disconnect the ground power. The weird thing here is, in real life you do it like that, but as you see here, the ground power truck is already disconnected from the aircraft. So that's weird. Before we ask, it decided to leave us alone, but it shouldn't be like that. Okay, the ground power, the APU power is available, so we can turn off the ground power. And now I think we can request pushback. So for this video, I'm going to wait until the pushback finishes before starting the engines, because the pushback has its own problems right now. Hopefully they will fix it, but until then I cannot do multiple things at the same time. Okay, let's just disconnect the jetway and hope that all the passengers are boarded and nobody is late for the flight. Okay. This Xbox controller made it so much easier to control this drone camera. I'm still getting used to the controls, but it is a game changer. So I'm gonna take the drone and get it close to the engine so that we can see the engine spooling when we start it after pushback. Hopefully it will stay here. It should technically follow the aircraft, but we'll see how it performs. All right, I think it's time to ask for the pushback. For today's flight, if we bring up the map, we are departing from runway 01 right, which is this one. So we will back the plane up to right and then follow this taxi line all the way to the runway, cross 01 left and hold short here. So hopefully the pushback truck will not mess it up. It takes time to request something due to radio communication, and sometimes you misalign the aircraft. But let's just go outside and watch the pushback from outside to make sure this guy is not going to push us all the way into the grass. Okay, I'm gonna keep the window open because I'm gonna request steering to the right after we get past that fuel truck down there. It is connecting now. We should release the parking brake at this point. Okay. Looks like he is pushing us back. Oops. A glitch, I guess. Do I still have the parking brake on? Let me go and check it. In fact, I do. Let's just turn it off and go back. Okay. Now we are pushing back. Interestingly now, the Xbox controller is providing some force feedback while the push tug pushes us back. So it's good time to steer to the right.
San Francisco ground, SkyWest 1071 requesting pushback tug to steer the aircraft to the right. SkyWest 1071, your request has been transmitted to the operator.
When we face this way, I am going to hit my toe brakes and then stop the pushback. We will see it happening here shortly, just about almost any time now. Yes, we are getting there. I think that's a good lineup. Let's hit the brakes and stop.
San Francisco ground, SkyWest 1071
oh my gosh, you see. Okay, not too bad. Not I hoped for. It's not what this is not what I wanted, but okay. We will live. We will live. Alright. Let me focus to the engine. Get this drone camera closer and get rid of this taxi ATC window, because we are not going to need it for a while until we start the engines. And let's go back inside the cabin. One thing I forgot to do is I forgot to turn on the APU bleed. At this time we can turn on the strobe to auto. We can put on some wing lights, but it's not dark outside, so it's not necessary. And I also will arm the spoilers and check my flight control surfaces to make sure nothing is wrong. Okay, it is working. And I find it really cool that the side stick actually moves as you move your joystick. See that? That's really cool. Okay, so what I was doing. Yeah, let's check the fuel pumps. Yes, they are turned on. And I think now we can fire up the engine. So the Airbus A320neo has a different startup sequence. The other Airbus A320 start the second engine first and then first engine after that, but it's vice versa for the Neo. You start the engine number 1 to provide some hydraulic power to the aircraft. As you see, it started spooling. And we will see the heat blur here in a second when the N1 passes 25%. There we go. That's kind of cool. I like this heat blur effect. It's very well done, I would say. Okay, let's go inside and check the status of the engine, and maybe we can, yeah, we can leave it like this. So it is coming around. It's coming around 48, 49. When N2 reaches 58%, that will tell us that we had a good engine start. Let's just, yeah, so we did have a good engine start. Now it is time to start engine number 2, but before doing so, let me go around there. And that's the hydraulic sound. Let's turn on the engine number 2. Started spooling. Maybe I can go a little bit sideways to catch the heat blur when the engine fires up. And after this we can turn off the APU. Okay, we should see the heat blur here in a second. There we go. Let's go back into the cabin and watch the N2. So it's gonna reach 58% and we will turn off the starter to the normal. Actually, we will switch it back to normal, and then we should be ready to taxi from here. And in the meantime, I think we can ask for our taxi clearance.
San Francisco ground, SkyWest 1071 ready to taxi IFR. SkyWest 1071 taxi to and hold short of runway 1 right via taxiway Alpha Mike 1 cross runway 1 left Alpha into Alpha 1.
Tower is 120
decimal 5.
Let's just set it to standby so that we can easily switch to tower frequency when we are holding short. Let's acknowledge and set our flaps. Let's turn off the APU, we don't need it anymore. We can turn on the strobe now. And we can turn on the nose light to taxi. We can also turn on runway turn off lights. And we can close this window for now. One thing I want to check before we start our taxi to the runway is the performance page. Okay, so the flex temp and the flaps are not set, but we are doing flaps 1 today, and I'm using a calculator for this. I will leave the link to the description, but it is giving me up 0.2 for the center of gravity setting we have for today, and the flex temp is going to be 67. Transition altitude That's not correct. We are in the United States and that's 18,000. Let's correct that too. And I think we should be good there. Let's just check the flight plan page. That's kind of annoying. It's just pointing to the taxi line. Sorry about that, guys. Yes, we are good here. Yeah, I think now we are good to get on our way and start taxiing to runway. Let's just turn off the parking brake. APU is off. Let's double check. Everything is good. Let's just give her some power and start moving. Let's go. Yeah, we started moving actually. Now we will follow this blue line. I should have turned it off, but I keep forgetting it, and I go to some airports that I don't know well enough to taxi to the runway, and it helps a lot, so that's why it's there. And when you hit space, it brings you this up position so that you can see the taxi line way better. If you are doing it like this, it's much more easier to control the aircraft while we are on the ground and don't get out of somewhere or end up in the grass. Let's slow down. It's kind of too fast. Yeah, I just slammed the toe brakes there. The passengers are probably not happy, but well, we need to keep the aircraft on the ground and not in the grass. Okay, so that's runway 01 left, which we are going to cross, hopefully. Let's just get there and let's control that there is no aircraft landing from here. There is one exiting the runway right now, and there is nothing coming from here, so we are good to cross runway 10 left. Not 1001 left. I keep doing this, I don't know why. And we are getting close to our holding short point. So at this point, guys, we will stop the aircraft behind, actually not behind this one. This is the hold short point for runway 01 left. When you are coming and crossing runway 01 right, if you are exiting the runway and going to parking. So this is our hold short point right here. So we will stop here, set the parking brake, and switch to the tower frequency and bring up the ATC radio panel. Didn't we tune the radio?
SkyWest 5754, exit runway when able.
Okay, let's request our takeoff clearance.
San Francisco Tower,
Let's go
SkyWest
up, turn on
1071
our
at runway
landing
1 right,
lights.
ready for takeoff IFR to Los Angeles.
Nose light to
SkyWest
takeoff.
1071 cleared for takeoff runway 1 right.
Alright, and we can turn off the APU bleed, we don't need it. Auto brakes are set to max for rejected takeoff. We can turn on the flight director now. We will hit the autopilot as we depart. I will hand fly a little bit and then engage the autopilot. Okay, weather radar is on. We are good to go and line up on the runway. Let's get her moving, apply some power, and we should be on our way shortly.
SkyWest 1071, did you hear my last transmission?
Are you talking to me? Yes, you are.
SkyWest 5754, contact ground on 121.8. Cleared for takeoff runway 1 right, SkyWest 1071.
What's going on with the ATC now?
121.8, SkyWest 5754.
That's another SkyWest, not myself. Okay, that's what confused me, I guess. Let's just line up and get out of here. I think I can just go back to my normal seating position now and slow down a little bit. Let's just line the aircraft up. Okay, this is a good lineup, better than the last time, I would say. And one final check, spoilers are armed, engines are running, turn off the ignitions to normal, flaps are set, parking brake is off. While holding the toe brakes, apply power to 40-50% and let the engines stabilize. Let go of the brakes. Power, power, power until the second click, which is the flex. That's there, displayed on the PFD right here. Flex 67, and we are on the go. Okay, I'm holding this stick forward and applying forward pressure to keep it on the ground until the V1, and we rotate, which is right now. We will pull back on the stick gently, and someone is entering the runway without waiting us to take off. That's kind of odd. Alright. We are going to take a left turn, positive rate. We can bring the throttle back to climb. There we go. And then we can obviously, yes, bring in the flaps and turn on the autopilot, because we have to deal with a lot of stuff. So now the autopilot can take over and do things for us while we are working on other things. But let's just take a look at San Francisco from above. We are just leaving, and look at that cloud there. That's really cool. Yes, I did copy. You handed me off to the departure, I guess. Yes, let's turn on the departure and go back to our normal view and contact departure.
Norcal departure SkyWest 1071 is at 1,900 feet, climbing 7,000 feet. SkyWest 1071 Norcal departure, continue to port as planned. Altimeter 29.84.
29.84 is set. I think I can leave the communications to the AI co-pilot at this point, but sometimes I just don't listen to the ATC and miss the altitude clearances, and I don't want to do that. Okay. Why are you speeding up that much? You should be below 250 knots. You should slow down. This is what I don't understand. There are some problems or bugs with this vertical navigation in the Airbus A320. You should be at 250 knots below 10,000 feet. So let's just set it up manually. So we follow the rules, right? And then we just make sure we are engaging the managed altitude mode. And I think we can take a quick peek outside and... Oops, where is my plane, drone? Let's reset the position. Okay, wow, that was like a Millennium Falcon exiting the light speed. Okay. Yeah, this is a beautiful view, guys. This is a beautiful view. Look at that. Great view of San Francisco from above. And we should be... Okay, we are clear to 16,000. Let's engage that, acknowledge the instruction. So this is what I was saying, I usually miss these communications if I don't pay attention and leave it to the AI co-pilot. So that's why I didn't do it this time. We can turn on the waypoints, but it's going to clutter the view. We can turn on the terrain for a little bit more. We are getting close to 10,000 feet, so we should get ready to turn off our landing lights, and I can already turn off the nose light and the runway turn-off lights. We don't need them anymore.
SkyWest 1071, contact Oakland Center on 119er.
Okay, it's handing us off to Oakland Center.
119er decimal 475 for SkyWest 1071.
119 decimal 475. Let's just...
Southwest 547, contact Oakland Center on 119er decimal 475.
Okay, I heard that. We tuned 119 decimal 475. Okay, it's not doing the radios are not.
Southwest 855 traffic is 1 o'clock 3 miles at 11,200 feet.
Oh, there's a lot of chatter going on
I'm in sight.
at the frequency right now, but let's contact the center.
Oakland Center, Southwest
And I will
547
not
is
mess
at
with the radio like that. It was
10,500
working
feet,
before, I don't know what happened, but it is not at the moment.
Southwest 547 Oakland Center,
Okay,
continue as
we
planned.
passed 10,000. We can turn off the landing lights and retract the landing lights. And I think from now on we will just cruise and try to get back to our destination. So let's take a look at outside. Are you talking to us? I'm going to leave the communication to the AI co-pilot for now. He can manage the radio communications.
Oakland Center, SkyWest 1071 is at 14,300 feet, climbing 16,000 feet. SkyWest 1071 Oakland Center, continue to KLAX as planned. Altimeter 29er decimal 85.
The cloud representation in this simulator is amazing. I haven't seen any kind of weather engine in any simulator so far like this. Okay, let's go and check if we can see that traffic. Okay, we are cleared all the way to 29,000 feet. And we can go back to manage speed now. I forgot to do that.
SkyWest 1071, have the generic in sight.
Really, co-pilot, where did you see him? It was saying 4 o'clock. Okay, I don't see anything, but maybe he has better eyes than I do. I'm not sure. Alright, so now we are basically going to cruise all the way to Los Angeles. So when we reach our cruise altitude, I'm probably going to cut the video there and bring you guys back when we are ready to descend into Los Angeles, because I don't want to hold you guys around unless if you want to. I don't know, just leave me a comment if you want to see the full flight without any editing, and if you want to be in the cockpit with me on the road all the way into Los Angeles. I'll do another video. Just leave me a comment and tell me what you think. Is it better to cut the video and shorten it so that you just see the important parts, or do we want to see the full flight from San Francisco to Los Angeles or anywhere in the world from point A to point B? Just leave me a comment, guys, and I'll look into that, and I'll promise I will make it happen. I will take you along from A to B without editing the video. But yeah, I think there is nothing much to see in the cockpit at the moment while we are climbing to our cruising altitude, which is going to be, if I remember correctly, 20 or 37,000 feet. Yeah, we still have a little bit more clearance to expect, but I'm gonna... Okay, Oakland Center.
Going to 127.45 SkyWest 1071.
Let's see what Oakland Center has to say.
1071 is at 16,700 feet, climbing flight level 290. SkyWest 1071 Oakland Center, continue to KLAX as planned. Altimeter 29er decimal 85.
Decimal 85.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet southwest 220.
Let's continue our climb, and shortly we will turn to standard altimeter setting after 18,000 feet, and that is about it that we need to do in the aircraft until we start to descent into Los Angeles. But yes guys, this simulator is amazing, and I'm trying to get better at recording videos because my channel is brand new. So please forgive my ignorance if there is anything that you are not used to or I am doing wrong. It's not intentional, but it is because I am lacking the experience. But again, just leave me a comment if you feel a mistake. I started to see some ice. Let's just turn on the de-icing. Wing, engine 1, engine 2, and window heat. Okay, I cached it earlier this time in the other flight. The airplane was almost like covered in ice, but this time hopefully we are not going to see it happening. I think this is the clouds that's causing some stutters, but you know, uh, overall it's a smooth experience, and my system is not the high-end or the best gaming system out there. I have an i5 9600K processor, 32 gigs of RAM, and a GeForce 1070 Ti as my graphics card. But so far, I am getting around 40 FPS at high-end settings, which I think is great when you think about it. I'm not sure if this Xbox controller can. Yeah, it can move my head around too. That's kind of cool. Oh, okay. I learned something more or something new. Oh, that's... Oh. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want to do that. Okay, let's just not mess with the Xbox controller. It was a flying rudder. Let's close the ATC window because the AI copilot is taking care of it. Unless I missed the communication clearing us all the way to our cruising altitude, but I don't see that. So let's wait until we hear back from the ATC and enjoy the view in the meantime. It's a really cloudy day at San Francisco today. The bay is under heavy cloud coverage, but the sun looks beautiful. And this view, guys, guess what's going to be the cover page of the video? Obviously, you guessed it right, that's going to be this. Maybe just a little bit closer than that. I don't like the ice, but so be it. It's cool. Yes, look at that view. So this is going to be the cover page of the video. Alright, I will take a couple more, maybe from the other side, like so, because the angle of the sun makes the airplane look really great from this side. And maybe we can just go up a little bit and then do an upside down. Maybe not that much. How do I zoom out though? I haven't. Oops. Oh, not that. That's not that. But I can, I think, do this. Go up, pan a little bit more, and yes, that's it. This is a great view from above. Okay, something's going on. Okay, we are reaching our cruising altitude and I forgot to switch to the standard parameter setting. Okay, I was expecting to hear that. Thanks, Mr. Traffic Controller.
Climb and maintain flight level 350 SkyWest
Yeah,
1071.
we will. Why are you not initiating the climb? Go, aircraft. Ah. Okay, now it's... I don't know, it's not doing it right away. I don't know if it's normal. If you know the real life Airbuses, just let me know if this is normal, like a slight delay between clicking the button and the airplane following your order. If you think this is weird, that might be a bug, but we are talking about a standard or default airplane, guys. And as far as I can tell, this is a great plane. At least the 3D modeling and the simulation of the systems are maybe not study level, but good enough to give you a good flight experience. Okay, we are cruising back to our not yet. We have two more 1,000 feet to go before we reach our cruise level, and we can then go back into here and we can start planning our approach. Yes, let me check the QNH at Los Angeles. We might get an update later on the way, but at the moment the altimeter setting, or the altimeter at the Los Angeles International Airport, is 29.82. Let's just do this. I will switch from standard for a second to see the QNH value. 29.82. Okay, 1010. Alright, let's just leave it there because we will be going to that altimeter. Okay. Okay. I was messing around, that's what it is. 1001. Okay, that's the QNH. Temperature at Los Angeles is, let me see, 26 degrees Celsius. And the winds are 260 at 15 knots. So this is the current information. And the decision height for Los Angeles is, I just looked at the charts, it is, I think 200, but I will double check that when we get close. Finally we are cleared all the way to our cruising altitude by the ATC. Alright. Okay guys, we are going to our cruising altitude. I'm not sure if the icing is working on this plane. I still see some ice around the nose and around the engine bays. Not on the wings though, I don't see anything on the wings. Let me just check. Yeah, just a little bit, and we definitely have some ice on the tail. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it takes time for the de-icers, the icing to work and clear the ice. I'm not sure. Let's take another screenshot. Probably you can tell that I like to take screenshots and make a memory of the experience, and now it's more special because I'm doing it on YouTube. Yeah guys, I haven't received any comments to any of my videos yet, but please leave me a comment and tell me what you want to see next, and I'll try to make that happen. But I will leave it here, and then we are at our cruising altitude, and let me see. Oh, we are getting close to Los Angeles. We don't need how many? Okay, we have 50 nautical miles. I'll probably cut the video here and bring you guys when we are getting close to our descent and finally approaching to Los Angeles. Because everything so far is set. It is too early to set our brakes and the flaps, but we will do them when we are descending into Los Angeles. Alright guys, I'll bring you back when we are descending into Los Angeles. Alright guys, welcome back. Now we are descending. I had to deal with a lot of weird stuff because according to our flight plan, at this point we should be, let's go up, we should be at 18,500 and look at this because ATC didn't gave us instructions to descend, so I had to request a flight level change so that we descend into Los Angeles on time and we are not too high when we are getting ready to intercept the localizer. But this might be a bug in the simulator. Hopefully they know about it and they will fix this later. But this was the solution I found, and I asked clearance all the way down to 12, I believe 13,000 feet. Yeah, it should be here at the ATC. Yeah, we are cleared all the way to 13,000, which is going to be around here, the Iron Man. This is the, I think this is the final approach point, and then we will start to get into our star from there. So we should be around. And the weird thing is, they are just throwing us between Oakland Center and Los Angeles Center for some reason. I don't know why, but you know, we kept bouncing around between different two ATC control air traffic controllers. And as you see, we are set for 17 and it's showing 18, no matter what I do. It could be the barometric setting, we will see here in a second. But now, as you see, oh, maybe there was an altitude restriction I didn't know about. Yeah, could be it. But I want to descend on time, otherwise we will be too high and we will miss our approach. So we will, shortly they should clear us all the way down to 13,000, and then from there we should slowly start expecting ATC to clear us to lower altitudes as we get close to Los Angeles. But for some reason, as I said, they kept bouncing us between Oakland Center and Los Angeles. I am not sure why, but I think we are at our altitude, I believe, and now we should hear back from ATC, clearing us all the way to 13,000, which didn't happen. Yes, there we go. So now they cleared us all the way down to 13,000, and let's just acknowledge it. And there is a lot of chatter going on. I don't know if it's live traffic or live players. I don't know which one is causing this much traffic, but there was a lot of chatter. So below 18,000, so we can switch to the altimeter. I don't know if they gave us anything about the altimeter, and I don't see any ADIS information that we can look into. So we will just leave it like this and hope for the best, guys. But we can start doing some stuff to get ready for our approach. We can turn on the terrain. Okay, yeah, there's an altitude restriction at 14,500. We just passed that, and we are now descending all the way down to 13,000. Yeah, let's just check the waypoints and see. Yeah, we are there and we are a little bit above, so we should hear from the ATC clearing us further, but we will see. I'm gonna wait a little bit more, but I don't want to be too late for our descent, so I might as well ask for flight level change.
FedEx 3086 descend and maintain 6,200 feet.
I don't know. And this was like changing from QFE to QNH just a second ago. Now it's... I'm not sure.
FedEx 3086 descend
Oh
and
yeah,
maintain
there we go.
6,800 feet.
Now. Okay, we are looking to QNH now. And we are getting to our cruise altitude.
Descend and maintain
And
6,800
let's see
feet.
here.
FedEx 3086.
We should be around that right now, so it's... How long we have there? 3 nautical miles to Ironman, and we should be around 13,000. I'm gonna wait until we reach there for further ATC instructions to see what they are going to do for our descent into Los Angeles. But we need to reach all the way to here before, as you see, that's our top of descent, I believe, but I don't think we could ever have done that if we would have stayed at 37,000 feet up until this point. That will be a nosedive into Los Angeles, which we don't want to do in a passenger aircraft. So they definitely need to fix this ATC problem, because it's a little bit annoying when you are trying to do... And look at that, we have an aircraft right there. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, there we go. I hope he doesn't crash into us. He's just looks like coming directly to us. I hope he's climbing, because if I look, the green light is on the right, which means he's coming this way. He's facing us. But we'll see, guys. We'll see. Let's focus on the ATC for now and see, because we are getting... Are we getting close to... Yeah. So our next waypoint is Ironman. So from there they should start giving us lower altitudes. So we will see what's gonna happen when we reach there. But so far, I think... Yeah, we saw that. We saw that. That's right there.
Descend and maintain 6,500 feet. FedEx 3086.
Yes, traffic in sight.
SkyWest 1071 traffic in sight. FedEx 3086 descend and maintain 7,100 feet.
Huh. Yeah, we are getting close. So when we start our approach, everything is going to happen very quickly, so I just want to be ready for it. Otherwise I will mess the landing, and I don't want to do it this time, because last time that's what happened on my first video that I posted to YouTube, and it's very disappointing to have something like that in your first video that you are posting to your YouTube for the first time. So, but hopefully this will be better. See, they just throwed us again to Los Angeles Center, which... Okay, so that's a different frequency. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of communication. I cannot get in to acknowledge the handoff. See, I pressed that button. Oh, finally. Oh, finally. Let's go tune and contact the center and hope that they will give us, because...
SkyWest 1071 13,000 feet. SkyWest 1071 Los Angeles Center, continued assignment as planned. Altimeter 29.85
29.85. Okay.
West 1071 traffic is 12 o'clock 3 miles at 12,200 feet generic. Report them in sight.
Yes, it's right there, going to pass below us.
West 3961, you are 900 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain 13,000 feet altimeter 29.84.
Looks like Los Angeles airport is quite busy. So when this happens, ATC doesn't know what to do, and when we are at our short final, they call us for a go around, like they are requesting us to go around. But if this happens again this time, I'm gonna ignore the ATC call and I'm gonna land the aircraft. That's what you shouldn't do. Oh, finally. He cleared us all the way down to 5,000 feet. I was expecting that, so that's good. So we cannot report the traffic anymore because you guys keeping the frequency quite busy.
Descend and maintain
5,000
feet SkyWest 1071.
Okay, let's just get the aircraft started, and I forgot to do what I forgot to turn on my landing lights below 10,000 feet. And I will turn on the nose light to take off.
SkyWest 1071 traffic is 12 o'clock 2 miles at 10,300 feet generic.
Yeah, I am seeing it.
Report them in sight.
I am seeing it. If you let me, I will report it.
SkyWest 1071 traffic in sight.
Yeah. Okay, let's set our brakes. I think we are going to do medium brakes this time. And then we go our program, performance, phase, approach. Our landing speed is 154 knots. And we are landing full flaps. And the QNH is changed, so 1011. Was he talking to us?
SkyWest 3961 traffic is 7 o'clock 1 miles at 10,400 feet Airbus A320. Report them in sight.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it there.
1071 traffic alert. 1 o'clock less than 1 mile 9,300 feet generic. Report them in sight.
Ah, yeah, right there.
Contact Los Angeles approach on 128.2.
Huh. See guys? There's another airplane right below us.
Traffic is 4 o'clock 3 miles at 6,100 feet generic. Report them in sight.
Where did he go? Oh, he's right there.
SkyWest 1071 contact Los Angeles Center on 132.85.
Yeah, I will contact the center. Let's go back into the cabin and just...
132.85 SkyWest 1071.
Something weird is going on with the ATC today.
1071 is out of 9,100 feet for 5,000 feet. SkyWest 1071 Los Angeles Center, continue to clarify as planned. Altimeter 29.84.
29.84. That is 1010.
1071 traffic is 9 o'clock 2 miles at 10,000 feet generic.
I saw that traffic. You can't. You didn't let me report. There's a lot of communication and chatter. See, I cannot report the traffic. What was that QNH value, guys? 1010. 1010.
SkyWest 1071 have the traffic.
So what I'm going to do is when we get here, if the aircraft doesn't slow down, I'm gonna start slowing us down by doing an open speed and bring the speed down as we get close to the airport, all the way down to our landing speed, which is 154.
SkyWest 3961 have the Airbus A320 in sight.
But yeah guys, that's what we are going to do, and hopefully this time it will work better. And we will capture the glide slope and initiate the approach mode, and we'll take it from there. But let's take a look at from outside and see around actually. Yeah, this is Los Angeles, guys. I'm I'm hoping to welcome you when we safely land the aircraft and stop at the gate. But again, this is a great view. Even with my computer, I can't tell how happy I am to have this sort of detail in graphics setting, in graphics of the sim. It's amazing. I can easily say Asobi and Microsoft nailed it this time with performance and visuals and scenery. The aircrafts, yeah, they are going to need a little bit more polishing, but overall, the foundation, the world that the simulator is living, built great. So that's what I'm trying to say. Let's drop the range a little bit for us to see better. Yeah, I think that's fine. So we are getting down to our cleared altitude by the ATC. So when we get here, which is Honda waypoint, that's when we are going to start initiating our approach mode or thinking about it, because we don't want to do it too early. That's causing some problems with the simulation if you uh, initiate the approach mode or activate it too early by pressing this button. So we are going to wait until we are at least 5 nautical miles out from Los Angeles airport, and then we will initiate the approach phase. But now we are at 5,000. This is our cruising altitude, and looks like the aircraft started to slow down, but I think it is still too early to start extending the flaps, so I'm gonna wait just a little bit more before we do that. But look at this, guys. We are descending into Los Angeles, and there are a lot of planes around. There are a lot of planes around the airport landing, and this is what scares me. Okay.
Keep speed below 210 knots. Expect ILS runway 25 left approach.
I think that's what we were doing, right? ILS runway
1071.
25 left. ILS 25 left, yeah. Okay. We are cleared for our approach. And we are getting close. I was just messing outside and enjoying the view while the ATC was trying to talk to me. But yes, guys, we are getting close. So let me just go into the cabin and do it from there. From now on, I do like to stay outside and take a look around, but I need to get this aircraft on the runway safely. So looks like we slowed down. When we make this turn, I'm going to extend one level of flaps, and hopefully I can this time make my thrust reversers work, but I don't know what's happening. They didn't work last time, and I was able to stop, but you know, that's what you should do when you touch down. You have to start applying your thrust reversers and slow the aircraft down and exit the runway as soon as possible. But even if I assigned the button, I wasn't able to activate the thrust reversers when I was on the runway. So we'll see what happens this time. If they don't activate, I had to stop the aircraft by applying the toe brakes, which is not what needs to be done or what happens in real world. You have to use the thrust reversers, but you know, that's the last solution that I found, rather than, you know, going too fast and sliding out of the runway. So I want to make this a safe landing, but if I cannot initiate the thrust reversers, I will do toe brakes, and maybe we should think about going to max brakes just in case if the thrust reversers uh, decides that they don't want to work again. So the spoilers are armed, we are good there. We are going to start extending flaps shortly. Our landing lights are on, So we are at landing configuration. In terms of lights, we can turn off the anti-ice now, and now we can. You see there is traffic around. I don't see anybody, but there is traffic around us. That's why we were seeing that green dot below us on the MFD. Okay, I think we are making our turn into the airport to intercept the localizer. Let me go out. Okay, even if I do that I can't see it. I'll keep it the range at 20 and we'll see what happens, but they haven't cleared us to a different altitude from 5000. What the flight plan says. So our flight plan says we have to be at 5000 at TRNDO, Tornado, and then Honda we have to be at 3600. So okay, we have to be at 5000 until this waypoint here, and then hopefully they will clear us for lower altitudes. It's busy, so hopefully they will. But next time I'm making okay, let's acknowledge that right away, because yeah, 3600. Let's acknowledge that. Just give me some room, guys.
Descend and maintain
Alright,
3,600 feet SkyWest
let's
1071.
initiate that. And I believe that's our final. No, we have to go down to 1900. So that's our final approach fix, that we will capture the localizer at 1900 when we get close to the airport, but well, we'll keep. And looks like the altitude restrictions are working now. They weren't working before. So as you see, the aircraft is holding at 5000. Even I clicked the button to go down to 3600, it's holding us there due to the altitude restriction, and as soon as we pass Tornado, I'm expecting that the aircraft will start descending to 3600 from there. We will together see here in a second. But yeah. Okay, we are turning again, and we are getting close to the airport. Yeah, I'm taking a lot of screenshot, guys. Screenshots. That's what I'm doing. If you are asking or trying to figure out what am I doing, I'm taking screenshots, and I like to take. Okay, let's go back inside and get busy with landing this aircraft. I haven't heard anything from the ATC yet, but I wasn't expecting to anyway, because we still haven't passed Tornado. We will shortly, and they will hopefully clear us to a lower altitude after 3600, which we have to be at 3600 at Honda, so we have from here to there, which I believe is around 3-4 nautical miles, because it doesn't show you the distance between waypoints. In a real aircraft you should see, let me go down there and close this window. Okay, was it for us? No. In a real aircraft you should see the distance between the waypoints here, but it doesn't tell us now. These dashed lines, they belong to the distance between these two waypoints, and it gives you a better understanding of where you are, and make your mind about how you should plan your descent. Okay, we are getting close to Los Angeles, guys. We are getting close to our final approach, and that's the airport right there. make this final turn, I'm going to start controlling the speed. Actually, I can start doing it right now. I will drop it down to 180 knots just to be on the safe side. It's better to be safe than sorry. At the end of the day, I can't record this video one more time, and I just don't want to mess up the landing. And I think this simulator is great, but it has some polishing requirements to fix this type of issues where the managed speed is not there. Let's drop the flaps to 1. Yeah, so that's flaps level 1. When they drop to 1, I think we can extend them to level 2. Yep. And I think now we can drop the landing gear and then drop the speed to 170, extend another level of flaps, and we are managing our speed and we are staying around 36. But I think this is good time. Actually, let's see. We have 3.6 miles to Lima, and at some point we should hear from the ATC. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I cannot get in there. Yes.
Tower on 120.905 SkyWest 1071.
Oh, finally we can just contact the tower.
Los Angeles Tower SkyWest 1071.
Let's see what they have to say.
East inbound ILS runway 25 left approach.
Final level of flaps. Go to 165.
Cleared ILS runway 25 left approach. Altimeter 29.83 wind calm.
Okay, I think we can now start the approach.
SkyWest 3367
And drop
contact ground
this
on 121.65.
below 1900 so that and put
Cleared
the landing
ILS runway 25
system
left
there so
approach,
that
SkyWest
yeah,
1071.
so we have the localizer, so we should be good, guys. We should be good there. Yeah, the runway is right ahead of us and we are coming down. I cannot see the puppy lights though. Oh, they are all white, so we should descend further. Let's do this and let's slow us down to our landing speed, which is 154, and stay there. All the what are you doing?
Follow the aircraft on final. Wind calm.
I think I should take over, guys, and I should drop us, take the altitude down and bring us down.
Los Angeles Tower SkyWest 39er 6115 miles east inbound ILS runway 24 right approach. SkyWest 39er 61 Los Angeles Tower. Cleared ILS runway 24 right approach. Altimeter 29er.
Yeah, it didn't work as I said. The radio is too busy and the ATC was too late to clear us to our approach altitude, and we ended up being high, so I had to take over and bring the aircraft down and hopefully keep it at a level so that we can. I still don't see the glide slope is still not there. Let's just not worry about the approach mode and let's just use the localizer. Okay. Hopefully we will do this, guys. Let's turn off the auto throttle. I will manage the throttle myself. Okay. We are coming in. Slow down, man. Slow down, slow down, slow down. We are going to float. Slow down. Okay. It's going to be a hard landing, guys. Yeah, it is going to be a hard landing. Let's see if the thrust reversers are going to work. Looks like they are. But man.
Did you hear my last transmission?
No, I didn't. I was landing, man. I'm
Going
not going around.
SkyWest 1071.
As I said, see guys,
American Niner 64 exit runway
they are
disabled.
just asking us to go around, which I'm not doing it
SkyWest
because
1071 contact Los Angeles Center on 132.85.
yeah, I'm not doing any of that. I'm going to stop
American
here.
Niner 64 contact ground on 121.65.
So finally we landed. The ATC is not cooperating with us, but I'm going to tune the ground and stop us here. Fire up the APU. Yeah, if I can.
Southwest 400, hold position, caution, other traffic.
So this happened before, and it's happening again. I
Southwest
cannot click
400,
any of the
continue
buttons
taxi.
for some reason. I don't know if anything is causing this. Let me see. It might be something on my joystick
Roger, Southwest 400.
preventing me from clicking things. I don't know, guys. It's frustrating. It is very frustrating for me. Um, Let me pause the video
Los
here.
Angeles ground,
I'll bring you
American
guys
Niner
back when
64
I
request taxi
find a
departing.
resolution to this and tell you what has happened.
American